177, Blue Letter Bible app, Bible in a Year Bible study. It's a chronological Bible study, and we've got 1 Kings 16 and 2 Chronicles 17 today. All right. Then the word of Yahovah came into Jehu, son of Hanani, against Baasha, saying, Forasmuch I exalted thee out of the dust, I have made thee prince over my people Israel. And thou hast walked in the ways of Jeroboam, and hast made my people Israel to sin, to provoke me to anger with their sins. Behold, I will take away the posterity of Baasha, and the posterity of his house, and I will make thy house like the house of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat. Okay, he wiped out them. He killed his sons. Him that dieth of Bashan is the city shall the dogs eat, and him that dieth in the fields shall the fowls of the air eat. Now the rest of the acts of Baasha and what he did, his might, are they not written in the book of Chronicles, the king of Israel? So Baasha slept with his fathers and was buried in Tisra. Elah reigned in his stead. Also by the hand of the prophet Jehu, the son of Hanani, came the word of Yahovah against Baasha, against his house, even for all the evil that he did in the sight of Yahovah, provoking him to anger with the works of his hands, and being like the house of Jeroboam, because he had killed him. And the 26th year Asa, king of Judah, began. Elah, the son of Baasha, reigned over Israel in Tisra 2 years. And his servant Zimri, captain of all his chariots, conspired against him. And he was in Tisra, drinking himself drunk, in the house of Asherah, steward of the house in Tisra. And Zimri went in and smote him, and killed him in the 27th year of Asa, king of Judah, and reigned in his stead. And it came to pass, when he began to reign, as soon as he sat on his throne, that he slew all the house of Baasha, and he left him not one that pisseth against a wall, neither of his kinsfolk nor of his friends. So that's a way of saying that he killed all the men. Thus did Zimri destroy all the house of Baasha, according to the word of Yahovah, which he spake against Baasha by Jehu the prophet. For all the sins of Baasha and the sins of Elah his son, which they sinned, and by which they made Israel to sin, provoking Yahovah, God of Israel, to anger with their vanities. Vanities and vanities. That's how book of Ecclesiastes starts, the vanity of vanities. Now the rest of the acts of Elah and all he did, are they not written in the book of Chronicles of the kings of Israel? They sure are, and we're going to read that next. In the 27th year of King Asa, king of Judah, did Zimri reign 7 days in Tisra, and all the people were encamped against Gibeon, which belonged to the Philistines. And the people that were there encamped, saying, Zimri hath conspired, and also slain the king. Wherefore all Israel made Omri captain of the host of king over Israel, and that day in the camp. And Omri went up from Gibeon, and all Israel with him. They besieged Tisra. And it came to pass, when Zimri saw the city was taken, and he went into the palace of the king's house, and burnt the king's house over him with fire, and died. For his sins, which he sinned in doing evil in the sight of Yahovah, and walking in the ways of Jeroboam, and in his sin which he did to make Israel sin. Now the rest of the acts of Zimri, and his treason, and that he wrought, are they not written in the book of Chronicles, the kings of Israel? When they were the people divided in 2 parts, half of the people followed Tibni, son of Gilnath, to make him king, and half followed Omri. But the people that follow Omri prevailed against the people that followed Tibni, and the son of Gilnath. And Tibni died, and Omri reigned. Omri reigned. In the 31st year, King Asa of Judah began Omri to reign over Israel 12 years. 6 years reigned in Tisra. And he brought the hill of Samaria of Shamar for 2 talents of silver. And he bought the hill of Samaria of Shamar of 2 talents of silver, and built on the hill, and called the name of the city which he built after the Shamar, the owner of the hill in Samaria. But Omri wrought evil in the sight of Yahovah, and did worse than all that were before him. For he walked in all the ways of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, in his sin wherewith he made Israel to sin, and to provoke Yahovah, God of Israel, to anger with their vanities. And the rest of the acts of Omri, which he did in his might, that he showed, are they not written in the book of Chronicles of Kings as Israel? So Omri with his fathers was buried in Samaria, and Ahab his son reigned in his stead. Here we go with Ahab. And in the 30th year of Asa, king of Judah, began Ahab the son of Omri to reign over Israel. Ahab the son of Omri reigned over Israel and Samaria 22 years. Ahab the son of Omri did evil in the sight of Yahovah above all that were before him. And it came to pass, as it had been a thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam son of Nebat, he took to wife Jezebel. Here we go with the Jezebel. Hey, good morning. And here we go. So now we are all the way to Ahab and Jezebel, the daughters of Ethel, king of the Zidonians. And he went and served Baal and worshipped him. Okay. So he has gone south, and he's gone all the way. Now he's a Baal worshiper. And he reared up an altar for Baal in the house of Baal, which he had built in Samaria. And Ahab made a grove. And Ahab makes a grove. And Ahab did more to provoke Yahovah, God of Israel, to anger, and then all the kings of Israel that were before him. In his days did the Bethelite build Jericho. He laid the foundation thereof, and Abim his firstborn, and set up the gates thereof, and his youngest son Segub, according to the word of Yahovah, which he spoke by Joshua, son of Nun. Wow. Okay, that was 1 Kings 16. Now I'm going to turn to 2 Chronicles 17, verse 1. And Jehoshaphat, okay, this is, let me see. So Asa slept with his fathers. So now we've looked, we ended with a look at what happened with Ahab taking over the northern tribes. Now we're going to go down and see what Jehoshaphat's got going on, because he's going to take over for Asa in Jerusalem on the southern kingdom. And Jehoshaphat, his son, reigned in his stead and strengthened himself against Israel. So against all that wickedness that was going on in Israel. And he placed forces in all the fenced cities of Judah, and set garrisons in the land of Judah and his cities, in Ephraim, in which his father had taken. And Yahovah was with Jehoshaphat, because he walked in the ways of his father David, and sought not unto Balaam, but sought Yahovah God of his father, and walked in his commandments, and not after the doings of Israel. Therefore Yahovah established the kingdom in his hand, and Judah had brought all to Jehoshaphat, the presents and in the riches and the honor in abundance. And his heart was lifted up in the ways of Yahovah. Moreover, he took away the high places and the groves out of Judah. So we see one kingdom is building groves and building high places. The other is removing them. One is blessed. One is going to be cursed. And the cursing is bad. Okay? Also in the 3rd year of his reign, he sent his princes to Ben-Hail and Abiah and to Zechariah and to Nathaniel and to Micah to teach them in the cities of Judah. So that, okay, he went and got prophets and went and had these guys teach in the city. And with that, he sent the Levites and Shemaiah and Nethaniah and Zibai and Ashiel and Seramoth and Jehonathan and Adonijah and Tobiah and Tobaniah and the Levites with them to them Ishma and Jerotham, priests, and they taught in Judah, and they had the book of the law of Yahovah with them, and went about throughout the cities of Judah and taught the people. And the fear of Yahovah fell upon all the kingdoms in the lands that were round about Judah, so that they made no war against Jehoshaphat. So they had peace. So they had peace. Also, some of the Philistines brought Jehoshaphat presents and tributes of silver, and the Arabians brought him flocks, and 7,100 rams, and 7,100 he-goats. And Jehoshaphat waxed greatly, exceedingly, and he built Judah castles and cities and store. And he had much business in the cities of Judah, and the men of war, mighty men of valor, were in Jerusalem. And all these are numbered of them according to the house of their fathers of Judah. And the captain of thousands, and Adnah the chief, and with him the mighty men of valor, 300,000. And next to him was Jehonahan the captain with him, 280,000. And next to him was Ashma, son of Zimri, who willingly offered unto Yahovah him with 200,000 mighty men of valor. And of Benjamin, Elah, and the men of valor with him, armed with the bow and the shield, and 200,000. And next to him was Jezebel, with him 180,000 ready prepared for war. These waited on the king, besides those whom the king put in the fenced cities throughout Judah. All right, so that is a really good what is going on in Israel, where they're turning to wickedness, and what is happening in Judah turning back to God. Okay? And we're going to see, because that was 1 Kings 16 that we read earlier. Tomorrow is 1 Kings 17. Okay? Now, this stuff goes on for a while, because we know that Ahab reigned like a long time. I forgot how many years, but he was there like 22 years or something. Okay, so he's wicked, but God is long-suffering, okay? But he doesn't straighten out, okay? And we're going to find that out. But that doesn't even happen until 2 Kings 17. So we've got a ways to go before we get to that northern tribe getting wiped out by the Assyrians. All right, I love you guys.